So, Crocs as a company has decided to sponsor a youth drag fashion show in the United Kingdom. And people on Twitter, on social media, are up in arms about it, as they have been about these events that have been transpiring, saying that they're going to boycott Crocs, burn them, get rid of them, not wear them anymore. And that's in line with the people who were mad at Balenciaga and Adidas for the advertisement that it came out last month or 2 months ago, something beginning in between November and December. And I'm right there with them in the sense that, these kind of things can't continue to go on. But all of these corporations are commingled, meaning that you can say that Nike, Nike didn't support any of these drag shows, even though Adidas had that collaboration with Balenciaga that involved the pedophilic images, and then obviously this situation happening with Crocs. But who are their parent companies? Well, the parent company of Balenciaga would have been the Kering Corporation, which is tied in with so many different other companies, so on and so forth. And people look to hold them accountable, saying, hey, you guys own this company. Where's the outrage? Where is the action that's being taken? Where is anything? Because you guys are being silent about this. And of course, there has been no response from the parent company. So now the average consumer has to look through every company owned by the Kering Corporation and go and boycott all of them. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't do this. My whole point in this is that we need a more effective method of actually utilizing our dollars to influence businesses in order to do things that we believe in and not do things that we don't believe in. Many people attempt to do this by their own wallet, but it must be done in a more organized fashion. And people actually have to come together and come in agreement and stand in solidarity against these kind of circumstances. Otherwise, it eventually gets to the point where everybody in their isolated boycott of said brand feels like it's not actually impactful because they don't see the other people who are maybe boycotting it in the same fashion. And eventually it slips to the wayside because the mundane drives you back into it all. Meaning that after a certain amount of time, you're going to forget the negative things that the brand did in order to make you feel like you didn't want to purchase their items anymore. And then you'll go right back to it. You'll forget about it, or humans have a nature about us where even if we believe something in our heart of hearts, if everybody else feels less, not enthused, but if nobody else cares, you can care about it a lot. Like, I'm not saying that everything that I care about that other people don't care about, I just completely abandon or give up on. No, I hold true to those things, but naturally it does take the flame out of you a little bit if you've expressed your feeling and you didn't completely, express your sentiments to somebody and they're just like, well, and just dismiss it. Then yeah, that kind of takes the wind out of your sails a little bit. But you have to keep pressing. You have to organize. You have to actually articulate to people why these kind of things are bad and keep doing so. And thank you to everybody who has been doing that. But the truth of the matter is that when we're talking about fashion brands, a lot of the people who really care about this activism and saving children and things like that don't care about fashion. Because the people who care about fashion, and this is from somebody who owns a clothing brand, by the way. I own a clothing brand. I like style. I've always said when I was young that I like style, but I don't care about fashion, because this is fashion. Fashion is what is in fashion. Fashion used to mean the way that you wear something, and now fashion means what is in style. And what is in style to people who care about fashion is more important than what the people of that style do. Meaning that tomorrow, if pedophilia became fashionable, even though it was absolutely grotesque to a person who had, any type of moral integrity, then the people who only care about fashion, style, looking cool will support that. And they'd be like, well, I mean, it can't be that bad because everybody thinks it's okay. That is the way that small-minded people operate. And unfortunately, a lot of people outside of the designers and even in the designers in fashion are small-minded people. These are people who are, at the end of the day, their biggest personality trait is literally the coverings of their flesh. That is already shallow as it is, and they try to make it seem more deep with the complexities of art, the references, the motifs, the intricacy of pattern cutting, and that is all to be respected and appreciated. But it also has a not pompous nature to it, but it has an air of, I won't even say elitism, but it's a tribal thing. It's a very it's a very closed group type of, pardon me for coughing like that, but it's a very closed group type of, thing. Like, it's either you're in it or you're not. It's kind of like the hip hop community, or the underground hip hop community, or even more specifically, the SoundCloud hip hop scene. If you're in it, you're in it, and the community would seem massive to you, and it would seem like this is the best thing smoking, and this is what everybody in the planet is on. But the truth is that most people on the planet still don't even know who Yeet is. I know this is getting a little off topic right now, but I'm saying all this to say that when it comes to these brands, if you're just trying to go with, hey, this brand did this one bad thing, so everybody should, in solidarity, boycott them, it's not going to work that way. What has to work is speaking about the issues of corporations. See, these corporations don't even have to be involved in these political or sexual things, but they're choosing to be. And that's what we need to speak to. And we need to ask and understand why these companies are choosing to be involved in these certain types of programs and events. And then once we get people, the average person, questioning those kind of things, it may not expose or destroy the companies, but the other method that you were trying isn't going to expose or destroy the companies either. What it's going to do is slowly but surely shift people who are on the fence into thinking more aligned with how you would want them to think about brands that are getting involved in politics in general, or specifically against things that you believe in or things that you think are morally wrong, like child drag queen story time, fun time, nudity show, like whatever it is. You have to simply explain to people and give them examples and show them the clean glass versus the dirty glass and see which one they want to drink from. But it's not an easy process. It's one of those things where the more you want it, the more you try and come to them with this energy and this verb, like, no, you must feel the way that I do, the more it pushes people away. So you have to tackle it in a nuanced fashion. I don't know how many people are capable of that. And you have to have the fortitude to back up your beliefs and your thoughts, which is where a lot of the people who stand up for these things fall short, is that they're not willing to take it to the furthest extent. When you stand up on that soapbox and your head is above the crowd, make sure that you realize how easily identifiable and how much of a target you are, so that you don't get halfway through your mission and to decide that it's too much pressure for you. Elon, excuse me, who said that? Where did that come from? Have a great morning.